It is Memorial Day 2019. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast covering Monday Night Raw. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Matt Morgan, joined by Raj Giri, the first Monday Night Raw of the post Double or Nothing era. We are AEW had their big pay-per-view on Saturday, and I feel like tonight's Raw for hardcore wrestling fans lived in the shadow of that. Matt, how are you feeling about WWE product after what we saw Saturday night?
Not good. I knew coming into it I wouldn't, but I was really looking for spots in the show to go, okay, well, this is why they're the Yankees and everybody else is, you know, the Astros, the Tampa Bay Rays, the Marlins, you know what I mean? But other than that video package with Triple H and Orton, which I realized they didn't play for continuity purposes. They played because there's a younger audience today that doesn't remember Evolution, is what I started to realize halfway through that video package. That's why they did it. They didn't do it because we want to really build, you know what I mean? For the reasons they should be doing packages like that. But because I was thinking to myself, like, they really do packages really well. So maybe this is how they can do it. They're not going to get these exciting wrestlers all of a sudden and let them start shooting and doing crazy things and competing with AEW that way. Maybe they're going to stick to what brought them to the dance. Great storylines and great video packages for sure to further those storylines and feuds. But no.
Yeah, and that was the same package they showed on SmackDown, I think, right? I believe they showed that last week too.
Well, there you go.
And it's just weird. You got Goldberg versus The Undertaker. You're just kind of casually mentioning it. Oh, next Friday, Goldberg versus Taker. But yeah, I thought tonight's show, man, it was not good. Now, it was the Memorial Day episode. It's going to be one of the lower rated Raws, if not the lowest rated Raw in a long time, if not ever. But I just felt like it was just hard to watch most of it, I thought.
Yeah. Even if Saturday had not happened, even if you did not watch Double or Nothing, this was on par with a lot of the recent Raws. I think that, I don't know, a lot of us welcome the competition, right? The Monday Night Wars made both sides better, made both product better. WWE has run unchecked for a long time, and now it's time for them to bring their A game as opposed to just sort of rehashing the same crap we see again and again.
Matt, I got to ask you this. Do you think Sami Zayn, you think that line was a Vince line that was approved where he mentioned AEW?
1,000,000%, yes.
You think it was?
Yes, no question.
I'm just amazed that they would mention it on this show.
It might not have been his idea. It definitely wasn't Vince's idea.
Triple H.
It was Hunter. It was Stephanie. It was one of them.
Because especially earlier in the crowd, when the crowd was chanting AEW, there were a couple times during the night where the crowd was chanting AEW. So I would think that they wouldn't want to do that just to not get otherwise you might get the crowds chanting it again. But
probably didn't think they'd start chanting it. As soon as he said it, I saw my life. I'm like, oh no, they're going to start chanting it. They're going to start chanting it. And they did, but luckily Seth's music in it.
So we'll get to that when we get to it.
Yeah, first let's talk about the first hour of the show that had zero wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're leaning in hard on Brock, right? Brock became a meme last week. They got the Brock Party t-shirts out there. It's like the Beast has merged with the Funkasaurus, and we have the new Brock Lesnar out dancing with the speakers he has installed on the back. Matt, just the look on your face with this hanging your head there. You're not digging funning good time Brock Lesnar, huh?
Okay, the Running Man was priceless. The Running Man was fantastic.
That was awesome.
But he's not even doing it right. The damn boombox speakers are freaking on the outside, not on the inside where your ear would be. Back in the day when everyone had their boombox on their shoulder, the speakers are in the ear, not the opposite direction.
And it makes sense because the Money in the Bank logo should be facing the back so the camera can see it. You're right.
Even that wasn't right. But it's okay. Yeah, a new layer to Brock is fantastic. That's great. But again, it's still Brock Lesnar. We've seen this. I've heard this song a million times. I can't keep comparing it to AEW. It's not fair. But you know what? Screw it. It is fair. The business has evolved, and they've got the wrestlers that have helped evolve it on the indie scene for many, past 10 years, I would argue.
Yeah.
You have the talent to do interesting things here. They just choose not to. They choose this stupid structure. They choose this stupid A squared plus B squared equals C squared Pythagorean theorem of wrestling, week in and week out, and they've not changed. They're going to have to change. Let me tell you that right now. When this other show hits TNT, they are going to have to change their entire format or do something different. Because if they don't, I'm telling you, within the proper... Whoa.
Yeah. And shout out there, the Pythagorean theorem does not get enough props in the world of wrestling today. So props to Matt Morgan for referencing that. Yeah, I don't know. Raj, what do you think of this? I think with Brock, it was cute, but even by the end of that segment, it was getting old, right?
Yes.
Like they already overdid it.
Yeah, so there were a lot of memes last week with Brock listening to, and guys, thanks in the chat about Matt's working on his mic.
It's okay.
There we go.
There it is. So it sounded like there were a bunch of memes with Brock, with the boom box and everything last week. So it seemed like they were just playing off of that. They thought it was going to be clever, and I liked it. I thought Brock looked hilarious. He cut a promo for the first time in the ring, and it feels like years since he talked about Heath Slater's kids. So that part I thought was cool, but then the rest of it was just awkward with the different music hitting and Brock pointing at him, and then I just thought this whole the opening segment after Brock's entrance was just awkward and just makes no sense to me. Why Kofi or Seth want Brock to cash in on them? They should be at the top of the table. They should be, making the decisions.
It makes Seth Rollins look like a chump. It does. Like he would not be chasing Brock and trying to live up to Brock's like his level. You know what I mean? Like he's already beaten him. I did like him getting in Brock's face. I did like telling him he's not scared of him. I believed him when he said it. For the first time any talent ever said that to him, I believed Seth tonight when he said that. But other than that, the storyline itself is silly. It's stupid. It demeans the champion. Champion doesn't chase nobody.
Yeah. No, why don't they do it like Shark Tank and have Kofi and Seth making offers on Brock to entice him to cash in on them at this point? I mean, it makes them look subservient. They're the ones pursuing him.
Good word, subservient. It does.
And the other thing with that is that they kind of did the same segment again later in the show. Like it was very redundant when they had it and had them back out.
And look, guys, it sounds like we're bagging on the show, and I'm trying not to. Before we went on the air tonight, I'll tell the fans straight up: watching Raw I'm being so serious, and I'm not a WWE hater. I love. They started my career off. They taught me everything I learned about wrestling. I was able to go make money somewhere else doing. Very, very appreciative of them. So I don't mean to crap on them just for the sake of it, right? But I'm telling you guys right now, and I said this to Glenn and Raj, this feels like work. I swear to you, to watch this program feels like work, and that's not good.
It can be a tough 3 hours, which
it used to be fun. It used to be fun, Raj. I used to be so gassed up to watch these shows.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I got through that first hour because I was on my phone making a meme of Brock dancing to Super Freak. It's like that was more engrossing to me than a lot of what was on TV for those first couple segments. So Kofi and Seth were also in the ring there after Brock left, after Seth left. Kofi got attacked by Dolph Ziggler, who beat him down pretty hard. Xavier Woods came out, made the save, and then we got another one of these Ziggler promos. Right? I mean, this was a rehash of what we saw on Tuesday. They're really building this up for Super Showdown. Now, is it true, Raj, that this is happening? The backstage rumors that it's because Owens didn't want to go to Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, so Kevin Owens didn't want to go to Saudi Arabia, so he's off that show. Aleister Black is not going as well, but that was not his decision. That was either the company or the Saudi Arabian government over some tattoo he has. I guess it has some religious imagery. And Sami Zayn not going again. He's of Syrian descent, apparently. So Saudi Arabia and Syria, they have bad relations right now. And then Daniel Bryan, for the same reasons he didn't go to Crown Jewel. So.
Now, what about AJ Styles, who was out of that Fatal 4-Way for the #1 contendership tonight?
Oh, so that's legitimate. Like he's a little banged up. I don't know how long he's gonna be out of action, but he didn't work last week's shows either after Money in the Bank.
Gotcha. So Matt, I mean, Dolph, Kofi.
There's a great example. Dolph. They think, before my mic cut out, I was saying about the Pythagorean theorem, this formula of theirs they've been doing for so many years, the structure of theirs. They think they can pull and push any talent, put any talent into these little slots, and everybody will be happy with it. And we'll keep eating it. No, we won't keep eating it. And now, again, with another company and other places to go watch wrestling on YouTube, I'd rather go watch YouTube. I'd rather go watch old school 80s wrestling. Honest to God. You know, I'm talking like the Hulk Hogan cartoon era. I'd rather go watch that, an Attitude Era, whatever, WCW Nitro, than watch this. And they've got to change this format. Dolph is a great example. He's a friend. I'm excited he's getting an opportunity again. But we know this song too. We know how this song ends, more importantly.
Yeah.
There's nothing surprising about this. There's nothing that's going to make me want to like rush home from work or rush home from the gym. I can't miss this, Matt. I don't get that anymore.
No, I'm with you.
I'm the biggest fan. I love wrestling. You guys don't even understand how nutty I am about pro wrestling. You know, so this sucks to say. I hate saying it.
Yeah, this format they've been doing for well over a decade. It's, you know, we're going
yes, right. Yeah, it has to change. It has to change.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And hopefully it will. I know we keep saying that, but hopefully it will. And the Usos were backstage having a Memorial Day block party outside the arena inside a tent. Oh, the Revival. Naomi invited them, hoping to squash the beef. And they played a game of cornhole together. The Usos and the Revival.
Was there any... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
Really quick, when you saw what was coming up with that, right? The millisecond you saw the decorations and you knew this was a party, right? What entered your head, guys? What did you think?
Fight?
Okay. What entered your head, Raj?
I need to go get a snack.
Yeah. Predictability of it. Listen, they can't hear my predictability. And the silly, same stupid crap, insert Thanksgiving, insert Halloween, insert Christmas, insert any holiday you wish with a stupid, horribly written comedic, unfunny diatribe that's going to happen. And there's usually a tag team involved, okay? And tonight's lucky contestants were, I could have called that from a mile away. It's so, again, it's predictable.
And there was nothing in it that, unless I missed a segment later, but there was no payoff, right? They never got into it. There's no one ending up with a pumpkin on their head. But it just does nothing. It doesn't make me excited to see Usos versus Revival. It does nothing. It makes it way colder.
Exactly. Yes, that's it right there. It doesn't make you excited to see them wrestle any. They wasted all those segments on it. It's not funny. They get excited when the holidays come so they can show their comedy chops. They need to put the comedy chops away and lock them away and never open them again. Because they suck.
Yeah.
They're not funny. Nothing they do is funny. Not the wrestlers, the way they write for them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last comedy segment in WWE that was actually funny, because we had Sammy and Bobby Lashley's sisters last year, and Becky, This Is Your Life. I mean, Bailey, This Is Your Life. I mean, some really awful stuff. I can't remember the last really, really good one.
Well, we need to be, we're a 3-ring circus, okay? We need the trapeze artist, we need the clowns, we need the lion, we need the, all lion tamer. We need all these different things, the bearded woman, the strong man. Okay, guess what? One part of your act you guys should never go to is comedy.
Well, someone's bringing up List of Jericho. Yes, that was years ago.
By Chris Jericho.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird because we ran into Paul Hauser from Cobra Kai, who plays Stingray on the show at StarCast. Ron Funches was there, and a lot of comedians who I spent time talking to. There's a lot of comedians that are fans of WWE that have worked with WWE. If they're going to do comedy, why not call in some people that actually know how to do comedy and write it to make something that at least has some teeth to it that's not going to fall flat?
Yeah.
Right. You cast for those roles, right? You cast for someone who's going to be the funny guy. If someone's naturally not funny, giving them funny lines that would work for somebody else, it's not going to work with them.
Yeah. Tyler Breeze and Fandango, I thought, are two of the best comedic talents in the WWE. It's a shame.
Talent took over those initial segments, especially the List of Jericho. That's a horrible call. That was all Chris Jericho.
Right.
They're not saying,
well, Jimmy Jacobs.
Hey, Chris, we're going to come up with this list for you going forward when you come back to WWE.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we got a lot more to talk about, but I want to take a quick moment to thank the sponsor of this episode, which is SeatGeek. So I was in Vegas Saturday night. I had some tickets for Double or Nothing, but for Blue Chew, had to give those away to a contest winner. I needed a ticket to the show. Where did I go first? I went to SeatGeek, and people could see me in photos and videos. I was actually on the ramp there for Double or Nothing. It was super exciting. I think I yelled louder than I ever have before in my lifetime when Jon Moxley showed up. And let me tell you, SeatGeek will get you in. All out tickets are going on sale soon. I'm telling you what, wait a little bit. Use SeatGeek. You're going to get amazing, amazing seats. Because if you look at ticketing websites, it's almost as if they make getting to the event difficult on purpose, but not SeatGeek. They scour multiple sites. They find you the best prices, the best tickets, and they grade every seat, every single ticket that they sell. They grade to tell you if it's a good value for your money or not. You're going to find exactly the tickets that you want, exactly the price you want to pay, and they're going to get you into the show with fully guaranteed seats. SeatGeek is amazing. They have over 50,000 five-star reviews. How's that for customer satisfaction? They pull in those millions of tickets from all over the web. They rate each deal on a scale of 1 to 10, and they display them on an interactive seat map so you know exactly where you're going to be sitting. They break down the details. The green dot means good deals. Red dots are overpriced, and every purchase, again, fully guaranteed. So you can shop for tickets with confidence. Now, you can get tickets for wrestling, comedy, the theater, live music. Raj has used it before to go see Lady Gaga, Bon Jovi, and the Denver Broncos. How's that for a combination? I've used it for so many shows, wrestling, theater. SeatGeek always gets me in, and I've got the app on my phone. It's the fastest and easiest way to find tickets. Literally just a couple of taps and bam, you're in. It is absolutely wonderful. And we've got a special deal for our audience to save $10 off your first SeatGeek purchase. All you have to do, download the SeatGeek app, use the promo code INC, and you're going to save $10 off your first purchase. That's promo code INC for $10 off. SeatGeek is going to get you in. You're going to have an amazing time, and you're going to save money while you're at it. SeatGeek, promo code INC to save $10 off. And we thank them for sponsoring the Wrestling Inc. podcast. So Shane O'Mac competed tonight against Lance and Noai. Was that actually Roman's cousin, or was that
Yeah, we've interviewed him on the site before. Yeah, he's really Roman Reigns' cousin, up and coming star. He's I think he's got potential. So it was
he's the best of the bunch he's the best of that family as far as one that hasn't hit it yet or made it yet. He's been good for a while too.
Yeah. So he's good, but I don't know, the segment with Shane as a heel, it's already getting to the point where it's not like good heel heat. It's like you want it off your TV. This was where fans really started chanting AEW. They were chanting, "This is awful." I mean, they turned on this. They turned on this.
Good. They need to start listening.
Yeah, and Shane with the submission move, so it looks like he's just kind of wrapping his like anyone that watches MMA and then you watch Shane trying to do a triangle, it doesn't look anywhere near it. So I just thought this was a tough watch.
Yeah. Drew McIntyre softened him up first, then Shane came in, finished, and got the win. And then afterwards, let's see. Roman came out and dropped Shane with Superman punch at ringside. So they're keeping this going, this feud. I think with Roman, man, I don't know. I feel like Shane and Drew is somehow not the feud he should be in.
I mean, Drew makes sense eventually because Roman and Drew, Drew looks believable with Roman, obviously.
That's a potential main event. I mean.
Well, no, it is, but the problem is they've got Shane as his mouthpiece.
Right, like him playing second fiddle to Shane doesn't.
No, it does not help.
Yeah, I'm sure what they're hoping for is that Shane's star power, what have you, rubs off on Drew and he becomes bigger from it. But we'll see. Right now, being in bad segments like this doesn't do anyone any favors.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it was tough to watch.
Even hurts Roman.
Yeah.
What's that?
What was next?
After that, Brock and Paul came out with the briefcase with the referee waiting, and then the swerve was they did not make their decision. Seth came out. Lesnar said beatbox bitch, which add that to the list of great Brock Lesnar quotes and quips. Rollins was challenging him right there to cash it in, make it happen. And then Heyman reviewed the actual contract. Lesnar realized that he actually had a year to cash in. Of course, Lesnar doesn't watch WWE programming, so he was not aware of the stipulation. And then they said, we got a year, and they left the ring. When that was happening, R-Truth and Carmella ran through the ring, this 24/7 title. Eric Young, Drake Maverick, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Mojo, everyone's trying to get their hands on Truth.
That's my point, though. Okay, we'll start with the first part.
Yeah.
The Brock stuff. Funniest part is Paul Heyman goes, "How did you not know?"
Yeah.
But I'll give him credit for continuity in real life. Viking Brock Lesnar, who doesn't watch WWE. He would not know that. So that's so par for the course.
And I loved when he started smacking Paul with the papers.
Oh yeah.
That was so good. That was pretty damn good. But then followed by it immediately was completely kiboshed with the stupid 24/7 belt coming in the ring. Like they're all chasing him, and they just magically ended all in the ring together with cool spots planned. And come on, no.
I just don't think you want to combine the 24/7 stuff with the Brock Lesnar Seth Rollins segment, right? You don't want that goofy comedy mixed in with this, and there was comedy in this. Brock's line was pretty funny. I thought, but it wasn't like opening card funny. It wasn't like embarrassing funny. They did their own thing.
We know what you mean, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's ridiculous that they even brought this out in this part.
Yeah, so I like Brock in this. He cut a short promo. This is what I like to see Brock do more of. He doesn't have to do a 15-minute promo. No. Just a couple lines, just say something cool, and leave. So yeah, they're not doing it at Super Showdown. That was what a lot of people were expecting. It's going to be Seth and Baron. We'll get to it, but Seth and Baron Corbin at Super Showdown, and Brock. So Brock's going to be holding on to that briefcase for a while, which I kind of like it. I feel like it would have been a waste to just cash it in right away. So
yes, it would.
Yeah,
it would, but also it keeps Brock on my damn TV. Do you know what I mean? I can't believe I'm saying that about Brock Lesnar, but I am because I'm just so stuck on this business needing to evolve, and they just got a glimpse of the future. And they're still doing this. I'm telling you, this was the Attitude Era, and I know everyone always goes back and says that. They were reacting to the pulse of the business to the second they were making changes. If guys got hot, cool, they'd push those guys. Things would change. They're not doing it. They're going to have to start it.
Yeah.
Or they're going to look prehistoric by comparison.
Yeah, some people are bringing up that it would have been funny if Brock cashed in and won the 24/7 title. Just beat up. That would have been good. And just throw the title away because
he wouldn't run. He'd just close on everybody that runs at him and cover them all one by one.
Yeah.
And then throw the title away. He'd get such a big babyface reaction.
I know. There goes all his heel heat.
Did they really chant "This is awful"? By the way, in the Shane stuff.
Yeah.
That's tremendous.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, they were not. They were not a forgiving crowd early on.
Good.
They were given.
We got a quick backstage interview. Charlie Caruso interviewing AJ Styles, talked about the pop he felt in his lower back during his match with Seth Rollins, Money in the Bank. So he was unable to compete in that fatal four-way for the #1 contendership that closed the show. Corbin attacked him backstage. And then that segment went to Becky Lynch and Nikki Cross versus the Iconics. The Iconics haven't been seen in a while, defending their tag team championships. And defending it here against Becky and Nikki, who picked up a win.
They weren't defending it. They were just...
not defending party, just a regular match against them. I don't know. Matt, how are you feeling about the state of women's tag team wrestling?
I remember originally I thought WrestleMania. I was like, the silver lining, they got two, new girls with titles. It'll help it'll elevate them, right?
Yeah.
And get them ready to go to be main eventers one day. You know what I mean? But this will help give them that shot in the arm that they need to get over. It ain't working.
Well, they haven't won a tag match since WrestleMania, except for there was 1 week they had like the enhancement talents, but that was it.
Yep.
I mean, I don't want to keep saying the same thing every week, but
they're giving us the same thing every week.
Exactly. They're just burying these titles. I agree with Sasha and Bailey. Like, they wanted to do something special with them. Those titles are nothing right now.
Yep. Put it on a t-shirt. The same thing every week.
Yeah. And then I thought this hurt Becky too, to be in this match. I feel like she should be in bigger segments. She's been cooling off.
And Lacey Evans just walks out down the ramp as they watch, turns around, walks back up. So Lacey's back to doing that now. It's a bit of a mess.
The women's division was a mess.
Nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, well, and I mean, look, there's nothing to do with the women's division for Saudi Arabia, so I don't think until the build to Stomping Grounds we're going to see any movement here. Ricochet versus Cesaro. How about this? This was a rematch, really good match. Ricochet picked up his win. That finisher was sick, the way that he ended it. Man, if this had a hot storyline and would have gone on earlier in the show, I think people would be singing a much different tune about tonight's Raw. This was an amazing match.
You think so? This was on earlier?
If it was on earlier and if it had a story, you know, or even if they came out and said best of 7 series or something, cut a promo on each other. You know?
They've made me not care about Cesaro anymore. A guy who I think just 3 years ago I think I said he could have been a main event talent as a singles act. I could have sworn I thought that 4 years ago maybe. You know, so I can't believe I'm saying that, but they've made me not care about Cesaro. So like when Cesaro won last time, I was like, what the hell are they doing to this kid? But, you know.
Yeah, and that's why when they came out for this match, it's like, 50-50. It's time for Ricochet to get the win this week. And then I forget about it.
Ricochet should win every damn week.
Yeah.
At least try. You don't have any young superstars. Try giving some of these guys sustained pushes. If it doesn't work, then you change direction. But you know, Ricochet, he does all these cool moves and high flying stuff. Try it out. See if he brings in these new fans, and like Rey Mysterio did back in the day. And then if he doesn't, then move on. But why get him in this 50-50 booking when he's so young on the roster?
Stupid. It's so stupid. He's like the one guy that got right now that I think could really do something.
Yeah.
Big.
But that being said, I mean, Cesaro is the guy that Ricochet is going to be able to do the craziest shit with. I mean, Cesaro is such an expert, masterful wrestler that I think they could put on more great matches. But again, there's no heat. There's no point.
We don't care about him, Glenn.
I know. No, I agree.
Give him somebody we care about, and then he needs to own him too.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Matt. Not wrestling-wise, but storyline-wise, is there a single storyline in the WWE you feel invested in right now? No. Matt is shaking his head no. Okay, Raj, anything?
No. No.
I think Firefly Funhouse. I'm very curious where this is all going.
And that's going to jump shark too, because guess what? They're now using it as commercial teasers. That's how bad their show is now. They're using that, not because that's bad. That's awesome. But they're like sifting through their show and go, do we have anything? Do we have anything that's decent that we use as a teaser? Let's use Firefly. Do you know what I mean? That's supposed to be a vignette.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is not made to be a teaser.
Right. Back in the day, you wouldn't be like, stay tuned for another Val Venus vignette.
No. Exactly, Raj. I didn't think anyone would get that. Yes, exactly. You're right. Yes.
Yeah. No, for sure. When you're having to advertise your vignettes, because Glenn, to your point, that it's not really a storyline, right? Those are vignettes to build a character for when he makes his.
Well, there's a story with Bray, like what in the hell is going on? He's talking all this code.
You're right, but as far as like something that's getting you to a pay-per-view,
yeah,
Right.
No, I mean certainly Saudi Arabia. I can't think of a single story. I mean, Dolph's thing is a storyline technically, but it's not one that I care about.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know what's missing in creative, but they need to get it back pronto. So yeah, Ricochet won that. Samoa Joe said next week he's coming for the U.S. title. Ray showing up to relinquish it due to injury. Who would you put in a feud with Joe for the U.S. title right now, Matt?
Oh, you put me in the spot.
Here's a hint. We saw him in the previous match that just played. How about him? Ricochet. I
don't want Ricochet to lose, nor do I want Joe to lose either. I would have liked to see an AJ and Joe. I think AJ could have helped elevate Joe.
Yeah. Finn would be cool too.
Oh, Finn would be, yeah.
He's on SmackDown though.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Not that it matters. Not that it matters at all anymore.
Right. Roman has been on every Raw for like the last month.
Yeah,
So.
bro.
Yeah. Wow. We're actually at the Fatal 4-Way already because I was at the second hour going into the third. So this was an elimination match. It was Braun Strowman versus The Miz versus Baron Corbin versus Bobby Lashley. Braun and Bobby, did they just leave at one point in this? They technically didn't get eliminated?
But they start fighting in the crowd and fought to the back. Yeah.
They just left, but Corbin ended up pinning The Miz. I mean, I thought this was an okay match, but what do you think of the match and the outcome, Matt?
I think the fans can predict what I'm going to say right now. Fans in the chat room, predict what I'm going to say about Corbin. Ad nauseum. Take the shirt off. Okay.
But then you were calling him skinny fat before, talking about tummy being a sad face.
He's had a year wearing a shirt. I hope he's been in the gym busting his ass, getting in a main event push of a lifetime. He needs to sleep in the gym. I would have if that was me in that spot. I tell you that I wouldn't be I wouldn't. No way in hell would I not come back with a six-pack of abs. All right, but what I was going to say was this: I kept thinking when this match was over, you guys, and I'm looking at the 2 in the bottom of the screen. You know, like Seth Rollins, Universal Champion versus, Corbin. And I'm going, could you put that on merchandise? Could you put that on the side of a bus? Could you put that on a billboard? Could you put that on a lunchbox? Could you put that on anything with Corbin on it? The answer is no. 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 I'm not going to click through my TV. If the general fan, the mainstream fan, you're clicking through the channels. Are you really going to stop and see the guy wearing the friggin' tuxedo vest or whatever the hell he's wearing? The waiter, no, he's not going to suck you in. It's not his fault. They need to tell him to stop wearing it. That's them. That's creative. Again, not being creative.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been saying that we've all been saying it forever. He just doesn't look like a main event star. And
which is crazy because he's like 6'8". He's a former NFL player. He's got tattoos everywhere. All he had to do was tighten up a little bit.
Right, and yeah, I don't mean he doesn't look like one otherwise. I just mean in that getup.
But that's my point. That's like when TNA brought me in, they put me in a damn suit and tie for like the longest time, and I covered their ass by saying, "Oh, this is part of something, so I couldn't rely on my body. And I'd have to learn to talk and yada yada yada." No, it was like not taking advantage of something that you have. That's somebody's strength.
Yeah,
this guy has a very different look to him. Especially now his head shape, that was the only issue he had. Now let's go with it. No.
Yeah, and then another thing with this match is it just saddens me to see how much they've cooled off Braun Strowman. You heard his reaction coming out. It was just there like another guy.
You see great shape he's in, by the way. He's gotten shredded up.
Yeah, no.
He's got abs.
Yeah. And I think Miz has just kind of been relegated to the back. He's just there. He's doing nothing right now. He's treading water.
Yeah.
It's weird. So Corbin won with end of days on The Miz.
And you know what Miz could be? Not could be. We've all seen The Miz as a heel. He's a great heel. Him and Seth is way more exciting if you had Miz as a heel with Seth than Corbin and Seth, right? Nobody cares about Corbin and Seth. With Miz, you could do something with Seth.
Yes. Yeah.
Agreed.
And again, it's a shame because Corbin has improved so much. He has his work, his finisher, his false finisher. He's really improved. It's a shame that his luck of all things. Again, on a 6'8" guy, former NFL player that you wouldn't think would have an issue with his look being the problem.
Right.
And it's stupid ass gear.
Yeah, I mean, good for Corbin on one hand. He's now battling for the Universal title, right? This is the first time.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. We're the fan at home paying money to watch this. We're saying that as guys that have watched the guy kind of get better, and we're like kind of behind the, you guys kind of, I'm a former wrestler, you guys are behind the scenes. So from that angle, you're watching it. But we're supposed to be trying to watch this now, from the average fan standpoint. We're not rooting a heel along who's improved in the ring. We're not supposed to be, at least.
Yeah. Constable and the acting GM was a good gimmick for him, but again, it's storyline. I mean, I feel like it's almost everything that negative that I have to say. It's not even character that's the issue; it's story. The characters are all there. The pieces are all there, but nobody's writing for them. It's like reading a boring-ass comic book, watching a terrible episode of a TV show. It's not the characters. It's story, story, story. That's the problem. Baron doesn't have a story. No one really has a story. Dolph Ziggler has a story, which is weird that that's where they're putting all their eggs creatively. But yeah, Corbin needs
no one else, really.
Yeah, Corbin needs something. Anything. But yeah, I'm glad he's getting this shot, but I don't think it's going to succeed because no one's behind him. There's nothing to get behind really. The stage in the game. So back to the block party where an intense game of cornhole was being played. Oh, good lord.
Fast forward to it.
24/7 R-Truth ran through there along with the 24/7 Conga line. I shall now dub them. And hey, a big brawl broke out, everybody. When's the last time there was a segment like this without one? At least there was no food involved. Firefly Funhouse. High point of the show. They teased it like crazy. Where are you at with this, Matt? How are you feeling about Bray and the creepy shit he's doing now?
I still like it.
Okay.
Again, to be fair, I'm liking it because there's not much else on the show tonight I liked. So I think it would have cooled off versus the other, fun houses we've seen.
Yeah.
Maybe. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's getting a little old, bro.
Is it the same for you guys? Are you all like, this is a 10 out of 10 every time you see it? Or is it like, tonight's kind of a 7?
I think I'm kind of with you where I feel like I'm looking forward to it more because not much else in the show is grabbing me. So it's like, oh, well, at least this will be entertaining.
Yes, that's the thought process. Exactly, yeah.
But I do think at some point it's going to get a little, long in the tooth. Like you can only keep going with this for so long. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know when he's going to debut. I would assume it's probably going to be sooner than later. But
it's got a good opportunity to come back. There's a lot of stale characters right now.
Yeah, and that worries me is how creative will use him when they bring him back. If he's going 50-50 right off the bat, that just kind of burns him off quick. So hopefully,
the guy in the mask is called the Fiend. I wanted to get that in.
Oh, right.
That was the big revelation tonight. Now, I need to ask this because I saw Corey Graves tweet about it and he referenced on the air. Was there a Godzilla segment tonight? Because I didn't see that on my cable provider.
A segment?
Or like something Corey Graves tweeted out. I commentated a Godzilla battle. And they referenced earlier, said, the Godzilla thing that we saw earlier. Corey said something about. I didn't see that on DirecTV now tonight. I don't know if I saw a commercial. Okay, so you guys didn't see anything either.
But I have DirecTV now as well.
Yeah.
Do you get those long slideshow promos?
Yes.
Oh,
they're terrible.
Nuts. It's like what else is streaming, and it's terrible.
It's a spot for local ads.
Yeah.
Or ads that aren't cleared to stream for whatever reason, which is stupid. Yeah, there was a commercial, there was a Godzilla battle and a promo. People are saying I did not see that tonight. So there you have that. Sami Zayn out in the electric chair with Corey Graves. Fans ask questions. Now, there was debate online. Are these actors? Are they plants? Are they fans who had pre-screened questions?
No, those are fans. You can tell with the little girl, for example. She wanted to talk again, and was it Charlie Caruso was like pulling the mic back from her. But no, though I think those were real fans.
Okay.
And I definitely think AEW he was told he could say that.
See, to me, this almost didn't seem all the way scripted because those questions were just so awful that I wouldn't think they'd want those on their TV.
But that's what a fan in the heat of the moment is on national television. They get in there. That's how I know it was real. They all shit their pants collectively, except for the little girl, which is exactly how it would happen in real life when we talk to fans who don't think they're going to get a chance to talk to us. That's generally what happens.
But real, do you mean like they really
have an original question that they might want to ask, and then they get scared and go, "What's your favorite color, Sammy? You didn't win the title yet." Like, for instance, he said, "Hey, when are you going to fight for the Universal Champion?" Like,
yeah,
that's what legit fans do when they get nervous. I'm telling you.
Right, but they probably cleared it. Like Charlie Caruso probably asked them first. Okay,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like real, it's not like they were, otherwise they'd be asking Sami about Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, what about Sami for Syria?
Yes.
Sami
Right.
working with send donations, refugees.
Yes.
But asking about him retiring and stuff like that, that was WWE's,
So.
WWE-ish.
For many people, the high point of tonight was when Sami Zayn said, "These are stupid questions. You could ask me anything. Like, what about AEW?" Yeah, and that got a gas.
Even that to me wasn't good. Like, I thought they. I don't know what I was expecting to happen on Raw tonight. Like, shame on me.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I thought with what we witnessed this weekend, call me a mark. I don't care. I am one. Fine, proud. But I thought after this weekend, they would have said, holy bleep, we need to do something. And I get, I've been there, so I know how they think. We're WWE. We don't have to change anything. They change for us. Not anymore. Not in coming up in 2020. No.
Yeah, that's what when they said when they hyped the electric chair thing, I thought maybe they were going to try something grittier in the third hour, because they're talking about how they dimmed the lights in the third hour. They dimmed it like 15 minutes.
Really hopeful. I really was.
Yeah, so I thought maybe it'd be something a little edgier, a little more adult, especially after what we saw over the weekend. Maybe to bring a little bit of edge back in that third hour. So I thought maybe that's where they'd be going, and then it was why aren't you wrestling for the Universal Champion? That was what they were talking about. Sami was trying his best there, but this was just flat. The AEW thing, I didn't necessarily think it was funny, but I thought it was the only interesting thing out of this whole.
It was surprising.
It was surprising because Vince, we must have.
You never give each other. Yeah, they never. Because TNA was doing really good for a while there. They would never. They were told they can never mention that company ever.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't
told that. Yeah, so them doing this, obviously it's not Vince's idea. We know that, but I don't know. I guess I was looking forward to too much, too quick, which is stupid of me. I know that's stupid. I know better, but I don't know. I just was hoping. I was so hoping, because now there's a roster full of way different talents than when I was there. Like, they didn't have no Stone Colds or Rocks or guys like that. They've got very fresh. In my opinion, they do have fresh young talent. They just don't write for them properly.
Yeah.
Okay, these guys are very athletic. They're just as athletic as the AEW guys. I mean, come on. They are. There's lots of guys on that roster that are. Okay.
Just look at MJF, like the promo he was cutting on, during Double or Nothing, and he's a guy with no experience on the national stage, right? Like he's been an independent talent, and he was just allowed to be himself, and it came across as great, I thought. And I just feel like WWE, you got all these guys that are so good, that are they're so talented on the mic. You're not giving them those kind of opportunities to really, get their characters over, and that non-scriptedness. Dropping that a little bit to get these wrestlers their voices out more.
Just give them bullet points.
Yeah,
that's what you gotta do. And
is MJF
carry it? If they can't carry it, then next. That's the way it was when that's what it was supposed to be.
Has MJF really only been wrestling for 4 years?
Yeah, he hasn't been around that long. Yeah.
That's one I'm surprised that WWE didn't swoop in on.
Me too. But I can see them calling him Ms. Light. I can see them being arrogant about it too. But good, because it's great for AEW. It's great for him, because he's going to blossom. He's going to be able to spread his wings a little bit more and more and more, and get better and better and better because of it. There's a difference, guys, when you're wrestling. I'll tell you right now, my run at TNA versus WWE, completely different. WWE, I was kind of walking on eggshells. I was always like kind of scared to take chances with anything.
Yeah.
And whereas TNA, it was like, I don't want to say I had carte blanche, but I kind of did. Cornette would come up to me and say, "They got this written for you," and he'd rip it up and say, "Here's your little points.
Huh.
I know you can do this. Just don't make me look stupid. Stick to your time." And then I'd be off, and my confidence would start to crescendo, and you can watch it. And then, I got more and more comfortable, and that's just me. Now, talk about other guys that are like super freaking good, really good, like main event talent good for WWE, that it goes the opposite direction with, okay? That hurts their confidence after a while when they don't get the ball, they don't get bullet points, they don't get the confidence when the writer's saying, "Hey, what would you say here?" When that stops happening and they start to tell you, you need to memorize this, you lose yourself. And you lose who the character is, and you realize the company really doesn't believe in you that much, and it starts to decrescendo, and you lose confidence in yourself. It happens to millions of wrestlers.
So someone just tweeted this at me, and Raj, I'm sure you can fact check this for a story, but I have a screenshot in front of me from 8:51 p.m. So this was just taken a little while ago. In the past hour, searches quadrupled for the term AEW according to Google Trends.
I believe it. I mean, that's why I was shocked that they had that on their TV. That's the widest mention they've got.
Like I said, call me a mark then, because I thought like everything that happened over the weekend seemed to be everywhere. Every time I pulled up Google, there they were, either Cody or the Bucks or AEW or Jarrett. They were number one to three on my Google search list. Like, not people I've actually individually searched, but they pop up on my Google page.
Yeah, no, it trended that night Saturday, but again tonight, I think it's just all off of that one reference.
Yeah, there's a lot more AEW stuff to discuss, but first I want to wrap up Raw, and I have to say this is cool. Okay, so this led to Sami Zayn going in a title match with Seth Rollins. Now, guys, this entire time I've been doing this podcast, Sami Zayn got a shot at the WWE Championship last Tuesday, the Universal title tonight. He was in the closing segments of both shows, SmackDown and Raw tonight. Great for Sami, but I have to say this is probably my least favorite incarnation of his character. He lost both times. Seth beat him tonight, but it's clear that they see something in him. They're giving him these opportunities. Matt, what did you think of his match tonight with Rollins?
I like this incarnation of him. I do. I think he's funny, and I love how he's trying to make these fans accountable, and flipping it on them. I think that's funny, in a good way. And his matches are always good. It doesn't matter what his character incarnation is. I'm always going to pay money to watch him because I think he's awesome.
Yeah,
Raj.
Sorry. I mean, I think Sammy's good, but just he gets beat so often that why am I watching a 30-minute match when I know how it's going to end?
Yeah, nobody thought he was going to win.
Right. So if you automatically know they're not going to, why are you investing all this time just to watch a good match when there's already so many of those? So yeah, I mean, I just think Sami, he's just on a treadmill right now. Kind of running in place. He's cutting good promos, but they're not doing much with him.
And after that, we went off the air. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night on SmackDown. It's going to be Kevin Owens versus Kofi tomorrow. Yeah. And who knows who else will show up under this wild card rule.
Yeah, I do believe they got to give Seth a big feud, too. I feel like both Seth and Becky right now, they're just kind of there.
One can argue, well, what the hell's Brock Lesnar? What's Brock Lesnar? Chopped liver?
Oh, yeah. He's just kind of in the background, though. Like, Seth is facing Baron Corbin, although Lesnar is...
It's worse. It's worse, actually. Your answer should have been it's actually worse than him having Brock Lesnar, because the answer is he doesn't have Brock Lesnar's storyline. He's chasing, as the champion, chasing Brock Lesnar and saying, please, will you wrestle against me, Mr. Lesnar, please? It's so stupid and counterproductive. Yeah. Though, again, I didn't get a chance to say it again, but that promo he did, that he cut on Brock, I liked it. He didn't back down from him. He got right in his mug right when he got in the ring. I thought that was strong. And it didn't look like he was acting. Does that make sense? He looked like he was reacting.
Yeah.
Does that mean, you know what I mean? Usually when some little guy in the ring saying, I'm not scared of you, and you're like, yeah, right, he will freaking pulverize you. There was something about the way Seth, his delivery tonight. I liked it. Mm-hmm. But again, at the end of the day, he's still ultimately feeling he's here and Brock is here, and he wants to be brought up to Brock's level by continuing to challenging him. Come on, catch it in now, tough guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope, don't cash it in. I've already beaten you. You're old news, Brock. I don't even know why you're back, quite honestly. The company's paying you. What? Are you kidding me? Vince, I've beaten this guy. Why is he back? Dude, Brock, you're like the high school senior who doesn't go away. And worse, you're hanging out like a middle school party. Just go away. Like, there's so many promos you can cut on him of being like, you're up here and Brock's down there.
Yeah.
As a champion.
So that was Raw tonight. Yeah, Rush, your final thoughts on Raw?
I thought it was a bad show overall. If we're doing a 1 to 10, I'd say like a 3 or a 4.
I'm with you. I hate taking something. We just sit there and crap on the show. And that's not our intent.
Yeah.
That's not mine. But I don't know what else to say. Are we supposed to lie?
Right, exactly.
Pretend to be excited. I don't want to do that. You guys don't have me on here to do that. Yeah, I mean, be honest.
I feel bad. You know what it reminds me of? Back, my first girlfriend that I ever had, like long term, we had kind of a rocky relationship. And then I went out one weekend and I met this girl, just sort of hanging out with her, had an amazing time. Now, nothing happened. I didn't cheat on my girlfriend. But then I went back and hung out with my girlfriend. And this was just at like a party. We were just talking. But I went back the next night, had a date with my girlfriend. And I was like, you know what? There's better stuff out of there. I got to get out of this relationship. And we broke up. I never looked back. Because I saw what a relationship with chemistry could be. And I knew that what I had wasn't that. And that's kind of how I felt tonight watching Raw after AEW.
I bet. Same here.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough after that because I thought AEW really, especially that second half of the show, was just fantastic, and there's just so much about the production that I liked. I like the look of the show and how they don't have screens every freaking where on the aprons, and like it's more gritty and toned down. And I just thought tonight's show was tough. It was tough to watch.
And I felt that way after NXT too. It's not fair to just say that's all AEW. I felt that way with NXT, where it's like, oh, we say this every weekend when there's a major pay-per-view, right? NXT has the best pay-per-view of the weekend, more often than not. But I think part of it was also the new factor, and let's be really fair and keep it balanced. AEW isn't doing a ton with
once they do
TV, because they're not doing a ton with storytelling right now. But I feel Raj gave me shit this weekend in person about my love of comic books, because I bought all these posters that were wrestlers and comic book covers that are going to be on my backdrop soon here. But it felt to me like I've been reading DC comics all my life, and I picked up a Marvel book, and I was like, oh my God, there are all these new superheroes. Where have you guys been all my life? That's what I felt like, because I wasn't familiar with a lot of the talent on Double or Nothing. Of the wrestlers you didn't know, Matt, let's not talk about Cody, Kenny, even Hangman Page, the guys at the top of it, but of those guys in the Battle Royal, like, MJF, everyone is saying this guy's going to be a major star. He's in this battle with Chris Jericho now to who can be the bigger heel in AEW. Who did you see that you've got your eye on after Saturday?
Being the Elite forever, so I've seen MJF for quite a while. But I will say, I know Adam Page doesn't count because he's already over. Everyone knows he is. But I will say this about him: he's getting to be main event over. Did you get the reaction versus Pac? That was pretty impressive. You know what I mean? In the UK, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, they went nuts for him there. I agree. I think Adam Page is a no-brainer. And then, a lot of these guys aren't that well known yet on the national scale. So you still got your Kenny Omega and Young Bucks who aren't household names yet.
Right. Well, hang on back to again. I want to Joey. What's his name? Joey Janela.
Yeah. Joey Janela. Yeah.
He's good.
I watched his. Hang on. I'm a huge fan of this new guy now. Hang on. I went and YouTubed him and watched all this stuff. Orange Cassidy.
Yes.
He's so fun. That is hilarious. Right now, I hope Cornette's not watching this. He will drive over here and he will chop my head off for saying that. But I'm being so serious though. Like, I thought it was so funny because at first I never heard him, never saw him. He got in the ring with Tommy Dreamer Battle Royal and did his little shin kick, sweet shin music or whatever, and did it like really lazily. I was like, what the hell is that? Sweet nip up with his hands in his pocket, and then I was like, wait, is this his shtick? And YouTube did. I was like, wow, what a great shtick. Like, at least it's different. It's new. I've never seen it. And I watched all of his matches. Like, I went bananas on, when was it, Sunday morning, watching like Orange Cassidy matches and Joey Janela stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, his promos too. I'm right there with you, Matt. I've been watching since Saturday, but his stuff where it's all like, or whatever, or I don't know, ask me later. Or it's just, like, I love that. I love his style. And this is something, again, this is a guy like his shtick has WWE written all over it. I'm glad they didn't get their hands on him. But I think, man, if they just let him go, like, he could be like someone that people tune in for. You don't need to ever put a title on this guy, but he will be a fan favorite of AEW if they just let him do his thing.
Yes, like WWE can do Santino, dressing up as a woman and doing all this crazy stuff. Guess what? AEW can get away with this too. For having, again, the 3-ring circus, you have to have something for everybody, and that dude stuff is hilarious.
Yeah, and so Yeah, successful pay-per-view. Obviously a weekly 2-hour show is going to be a whole new ball game.
Yeah.
But I was really impressed with what I saw.
Absolutely.
It was one of my favorite pay-per-views in a long time.
Yeah, I think guys like Jimmy Havoc, Jungle Boy. I mean, there was just so much talent that was in there.
So real quick, you were at the event. You weren't on the show afterwards with us. Yeah. I kept saying to the Raj and the other dude, who kind of looks like Jungle Boy now, I look back on it. I said, who's this Jungle Boy? Why is he so over? And you guys no one gave me a real answer. My wife had to be the one to tell me that was what's his name's son,
Luke Perry.
Why didn't you tell me that, Raj?
I thought you knew that. I thought you meant just like where's he from, wrestling wise.
I'm really out of the loop, bro.
Yeah, I mean he's been because his father passed away months ago, so he was kind of all over. But yeah, he looks a lot like his dad too.
He was super over. I know that people responded. They reacted to him.
Yeah, and so it just came out tonight. Joey Ryan turned down a deal with AEW. So
interesting.
Yeah, Jon Moxley, obviously we saw him debut. I think this was a lot of people were hoping to see this, this character, the unpredictable, wild, crazy DDTing referees. And he had it all back. He looked like this is what he's been wanting to do and has been kind of handcuffed. So really cool moment. He's also going to be appearing at New Japan. For New Japan, his AEW, he's on a multi-year contract, full-time with AEW, but he does have the right to do some independent and dates in Japan. So, but when they go weekly, he's going to be full-time. So, yeah, it's a long-term deal. He's with them.
Okay. Did you guys see his stuff with Joey Janela?
Oh, backstage on being the elite.
It's little things like that. He has so much more creative freedom now to do just like even that I thought was pretty nothing was said.
Right.
And immediately now Joey Janela gets a little bit more over because of that. He got the rub from it. And Homeboy looked crazy, batshit crazy, and all over the place, which is great. That's what he needs to look like, Moxley.
Did you guys? Now I didn't see this on TV. Were they showing when he laid face down on the chips at the end and was like yelling in the camera? They showed that.
No, he was just laying on the chip, and they're panning around him.
No, he was like there was a camera on him. He was just like talking for probably about 30 seconds directly into it. I haven't seen that footage anywhere yet. But again, I didn't see it on TV.
Either they didn't show him what he was saying.
I'm just curious what he's saying. He kept doing this thing where he's flipping off and then pointing at his finger, like, "Hey, I can do this now." It was crazy though, man. Loudest I've ever yelled. Loudest pop I've heard. That was louder than when Enzo and Cass debuted on Raw, which before was probably the loudest pop I ever heard live. Yeah, I mean that was crazy when he showed up.
And so I saw this either in a meme or in a post, and this is where Jim Ross, for the record, is worth every penny you pay him because he made that even more exciting.
Yeah.
The call of Moxley coming out, guys. I'm not hearing enough people talk about it, and they should because you could tell Jim Ross was incredibly interested finally. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was like, that was a Stone Cold call.
Yeah.
You could really tell he was super excited about his boy Stone Cold coming out because you can hear it in his voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he will be headed to New Japan next week for the finals of the Best of the Super Juniors on June 5th. He's got a bunch of dates set up with Northeast Wrestling. He's going to be facing Pentagon at one of those shows. So, yeah, he's hitting the ground running. So.
Huge fan of Lucha Brothers, by the way. Holy crap!
Yeah, that was awesome. Their match with the Bucks. So,
are those two brothers in real life?
Yeah,
Lucha Brothers.
Yeah, Pentagon Phoenix.
That's a lot of talent in the family. Jeez.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool being there, man. Glad I was. It was very, very exciting. And just seeing the interest, I mean, looking at how many people have been tweeting about it, how many people, I'm sorry that I missed the podcast here Saturday night. I know that was a really hot one. You guys did great. Actually, you told Raj, I went back, Matt, today and watched parts of it because I wanted to see what you guys thought of Double or Nothing, just to make sure I wasn't insane and being so.
No, it was the shit. It was the best.
Yeah. It was really good. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. They could absolutely screw this up, but I'm hoping to God they don't because this could be really something special and huge competition that hopefully is the kick in the ass WWE needs to step up their game.
Yeah, and so far so good. I mean, they pushed all the right buttons. They did all the right things, I thought, that night. So I have a lot of more faith in them after that show.
Yeah.
You know?
Even if Moxley hadn't shown up, that's the funny part. I know we were talking on the podcast last week saying they needed to do that. Moxley had to be there for that to live up the hype. I thought they did it even before he showed up there. I thought they put on an A+ pay-per-view, so that was just the cherry on top.
It went to, in my opinion, transcendent.
Yeah.
Because he was there versus not. You know, it went from an A++ pay-per-view to like we're still talking about it. I've watched it like I think 12 times.
Yeah, it went from great to epic, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. It's a good time. And we'll see, you know, I think a lot of this also, people are probably, again, to be fair, I think people were somewhat projecting our hopes onto this. I mean, we're hoping creatively, right, that the performers get to have creative destiny, creative control over the characters. They're not going to be told, hey, you're going to do something. That's the problem. I give this comparison online. It should be like when an indie band or punk band, remember like when The Offspring got played on MTV, where these bands got this national stage and they just got to keep doing their thing, but for a bigger audience. That's the opportunity here. But when you go to NXT, they're giving you a name, they're trademarking your stuff, they're telling you what to do. Hopefully this is not going to be that, and AEW is going to give these guys freedom.
The one thing to worry about is the buck needs to stop with one person.
Yeah.
Because we've seen what I went into with TNA. You know, if guys didn't want to do jobs or things like that, they can wiggle around Dixie and go to somebody else to get it kiboshed. You can't have that. You got to have it. It has to be one person. That's why WWE so successful.
And they kind of have that with Tony Khan right now. I know he's
it's going to be okay. Good.
Yeah, like he's reaching out for their expertise and everything, but he's the ultimate. The buck stops with him. One thing we completely forgot this weekend is another takeover. That it was like it kind of fell by the wayside, but there's a takeover
up this weekend.
Yeah, this Saturday night.
I caught that. Yeah.
Wouldn't it have been funny if there'd been a takeover this last weekend and it was like, oh shit, everybody, sorry, we forgot about that. But no, one thing I did want to say though, did they air the part when Cody came out and said, we will never let you down, and made that promise to the fans?
You mean that very beginning promo?
No, it was at the end.
No.
Okay, so they all came out. Kenny with his busted up nose.
Yeah, we saw that.
At the end when they said goodnight?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm very worried that because they made that statement, I think when AEW does make their first misstep, it's going to be a little rough. You know, I think they've set the bar so high. That's tough to say, man. I mean, think about that. Would you ever say that to the fans?
It's just a blanket statement saying, like, as our heart and souls are into this, we're not going to let you down.
We will never let you down, Matt.
I can't see people.
Come on, I say that to. I say that to my wife, and I'm sure there's times.
Oh, I never say that to my wife.
I'm sure I do let her down. You know what I mean?
No. Here's what I say to my wife: I will never purposefully let you down or try to let you down. But let's just be real. Mistakes will be made.
I just didn't see it that way. I thought it was very, very heartfelt.
I agree. But I think that's the thing. I think that at some point,
I'm not going to be sitting there with my meter going, Cody, you lied.
People will. I'm sure some fans already have the tweets ready to go. Strongly worded.
About that.
Yeah. No, I thought that was my only note about that. What else do we got to cover, Raj?
I think that's it.
Okay, cool. Matt Morgan, what do you want to plug before we go off the air here?
Just a super exciting weekend of wrestling for once. Like, I felt like I was a little kid. I was telling my wife. It was like back in the day when like Saturday night's main event would be coming on. I'd be allowed to stay up just a little bit late to watch, like, you know what I mean? And Hogan would be on it or something like that. We didn't know wrestling was a work yet, mind you. It was like that for me all over again. It really was of excitement of what the night was going to have in store for us. You know, it was awesome. And I hope we get more of that.
Yeah. I agree.
Raj, what's coming up on the site?
More from our interviews with Conan, Dustin Rhodes. We talked to him a lot. We talked to Cody and Tony Khan and all these guys and all the AEW guys at Double or Nothing this past weekend. So we have stuff from them on the site. So keep checking it out.
Cool. I'm Glenn.
We got TakeOver Saturday and SmackDown tomorrow night.
Yeah. I'm Glenn Rubenstein. You can find me on Twitter at Glenn Rubenstein, where I did tweet out Brock dancing to Super Freak. And I want to thank all of you. Raj, I stopped counting. It must have been over 100 people that came up and thanked me at StarCast, said they watched the podcast, asked where Matt Morgan was.
There were a lot of Matt Morgan questions.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a very, very
good me fans. They didn't invite me. That's where I was.
Well, Chicago and Labor Day, Matt. We'll see. Be back here tomorrow night for Tuesday Night SmackDown. Until then, I'm Glenn Rubenstein. Take care, everybody.